Hi, I'm Brien Lundin. I'm at the Metals Investor Forum, and I'm talking with Chris Taylor of Great Bear Resources. Chris, Great Bear is a new recommendation of mine in Gold Newsletter in my alert service, and it seemed to have a few things going for it, like maybe high-grade gold, proven high-grade gold, Red Lake, a few little things like that that were working for it.
Yeah.
But what's amazing about this is a remarkable project here. You have a land position that's been worked on over a number of years, has a ton of holes on it.
Yeah.
You went back and you found out that the reason why nobody could get any real consistency with the results or put it all together was not only the fact that the land was in different hands and you consolidated it, but also that it was being misinterpreted for a number of years. Can you kind of tell the story of how you went back and looked at the previous work and figured out really where the gold should lie?
Well, that's a great statement, because that's really what I think is going to make the project at the end of the day. The initial discovery was made by Teck back in the 1980s.
Yeah.
So you can imagine there's 30 years of work on this project.
Yeah.
Their interpretation was that all the gold was in one type of unit, like banded iron formation. That's what they were targeting.
Yeah.
So at the time in the 1980s, they had drilled over 50 holes into it. They kept hitting in this thing, but that was the limit of their modeling, is that it was going to be in that one type of geology.
Okay.
So go in, they drilled it from surface to a couple hundred meters depth, right? When we went back in, we reinterpreted their work as well as the work from subsequent groups that had gone through, like it used to be by Frontier Gold. People will remember them from the Long Canyon days.
They're really smart people.
You know, they really are. And the structural geology work that was done by Chris Lee, he was a geologist at Frontier under Marco Day, right at the time. Chris's recommendations were some of the basis for the first work that we did.
Okay.
And it ended up being, by interpreting the gold largely, like the rest of Red Lake, being largely confined to structures, as that being the control, it sort of blew the doors open on what we see there in the ground. So
previous work wasn't really targeting that geometry or drilling in the wrong direction? Or
that's right. It didn't think that the gold would be hosted in all these different units. But the gold it's in every unit, right? So it's really, there's a big over 20 kilometer long structure that crosses the project.
Wow.
Like, it's a really big property for the Red Lake area. I think that's what people need to sort of
understand,
grasp.
appreciate,
Like, it's over 23 kilometers long. And you could fit actually the majority of the Red Lake camp in something that long.
Right.
You know, where it goes through the main part of Red Lake. Here we are just south of Red Lake. It looks like a continuation of the same geology, and it's that main structure. The part of it that was drilled by Teck and the others, it's only about half a kilometer to 2 kilometers of that. That's seen over 160 drill holes. High grades. Like, when we went and we drilled it, we figured out structurally which way the high grades go in that structure, and some of the results we came out with were like 10 meters of 16 grams.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit. You had a reinterpretation of where the gold should be.
That's right.
So you went out on a limited budget and basically blew your entire budget on trying to prove that theory.
That's right.
And so you drilled, what, 6 holes?
We drilled 8 holes.
8 holes, yes.
We drilled 8
And how many of
holes.
those 8 holes hit?
Everything.
Exactly.
And the odd thing is, usually in Red Lake when you're drilling, you're really lucky if you drill 1 out of every 3 holes hits what you're looking for. 1 out of 4 would be more typical, or less. With us, it's every hole. And that area, it's over 500 meters of strike length. There's 73 holes in it now. 70 of them hit over 3 grams, and over half of them hit over 5 gram material.
Right.
And we're seeing stuff in there when you get the high grade concentrations up to 130, 160 grams. Like, it's incredible. You see the gold coming out of the core.
And that high grade is what brings the overall grade of the project up, but it's not like it's just hit and miss.
No.
You can consistently hit the more narrow but extremely high grade sections. And
That's
I mean,
right.
it's a Red Lake type deposit, and it's going to go down forever.
Well, Red Lake,
if it does,
well,
if it's still to be proven.
If it does, well, that's our job. One of the things we have to show. But Red Lake, I mean, my background was in production geology with a company called Imperial Metals, so I did a heck of a lot of work. I remember one of the holes that I recall fondly was a kilometer of 1% copper and 1 gram per ton gold, right? 1,000 meters, so that took months to actually log. But in Red Lake, 28 million ounces of gold produced. The average width is 2 meters.
Yeah.
right? 2 meters of 15 grams, that's ore in the majority of Red Lake. So what we're looking for here, it's structurally hosted, high-grade
Right.
gold, multi-gram gold. So we'd like to be focusing on material that's sort of in that 5 grams plus range. But even in the intervening parts of the system where we've got drilling, you're still hitting like 3-gram material, 70 out of 73 holes. I've never seen that before. It's really unusual.
And if you're able to keep proving up the model, if you're able to show the consistency of the structure, the consistency of the results, and that it continues at depth, then people are going to start extrapolating that perhaps this really is another Red Lake type deposit. And that's the really exciting part for a junior exploration company and its shareholders. It's kind of in the sweet spot here. If the drilling keeps proving it up. So you're drilling right now?
We'll be drilling in a couple weeks again. So
Right.
it's about a 3,000 meter program. The focus here is to show people that it's a big system. So we've
Okay.
already shown that it's got high-grade
Right.
gold in it and that it's really bizarrely continuous.
So you got the main zone and you're stepping out to show some
We want to step
potentials.
2 kilometers along.
Yeah.
There's it was never
An historic hole
consolidated.
2 kilometers away,
There is,
isn't it?
but they never historically had 100% ownership of all this
Right.
land. Or, we're really unusual. There's no royalties on it either.
Wow.
So like all the benefit of the work will go into shareholders, right? So, and the company, because before we got involved with Dixie Lake, we restructured it and then we did refinancing with, ourselves. Management took all that early risk. And
Yeah.
we're just getting the message out to people now. So there's no skeletons in the GBR closet for
Right.
shareholders that own penny stock or something
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah.
Everybody's on an equal footing. So with 100% ownership and no royalties on the project and the kind of numbers that we show, like we want to show after this program over 2 kilometers of gold within that main structure,
Right.
and we want to show that high grade. We want to show, we also think that the zone actually folds back on itself. So there's an area where previous explorers drilled very high grade material, multi-ounce material at what we call the hinge zone. We didn't touch it during our first phase of drilling. That's standard practice for little companies typically to go and
you can't
just
do everything.
cherry pick. But we wouldn't do it. We wanted to show that we had representative
Right.
mineralization, and now we're going to drill that area as well. We need to characterize it, and it looks like it folds back over. If that's the case, you kind of would take what you have here and double it as
Right.
it folds back around. And then out of this whole 20-odd kilometer structure that's got the gold in it, I mean, I don't know how many zones we're going to develop on that.
Yeah.
Maybe that it's all the area that we see now, but when we did a high-resolution mag survey on it late last year, there's a really distinctive mag signature from where the gold is, and you see that several times repeated along that structure. What I'd like to do this year is show that we have additional gold mineralization along it.
And I think that's where the excitement comes in for a junior exploration company and a shareholder like I am now, and for my readers, is the fact that all you have to do now is prove that that model works, and then you're going to reap the benefits of that in the market as investors come in and buy your stock because of what it can be.
Yeah.
You don't have to prove what it is, you just have to show them what it can be, and that's exciting enough.
Thank
Chris,
you very much.
Thank you so much, I appreciate it. Exciting stories, we're looking forward to the results coming out over the next weeks and months.
Well, thanks, Brian. Thanks for the interest.